All right, welcome to the second intermission between the Minnesota Wild and the Vancouver Canucks. I am Brandon Mileski. Pat Micheletti is with me as well. We're just having some technical difficulties trying to get our picture up, and there we go.
There we go.
Now we're ready to go. Good to see you, Pat. And
You too, Brandon.
pretty entertaining period there, Pat. I thought a lot went on there overall. It's hard not to like what the Wild did in that period. I thought they were the better team early, despite the first goal that was let in on that first shift, and to overcome, 3 straight penalty kills. 2 of them I thought were just awful calls against a good power play, and to be able to kill those off and put one in yourself and tie the game, I thought that was a pretty impressive effort there for the Minnesota Wild.
Well, it was the period of power plays, and I think you're right. I think that if this game gets back to being a 5-on-5 game, I think the Wild are in pretty good shape. You don't want to give Vancouver too many power plays. Their power play is good. However, the penalty kill for the Wild was absolutely terrific in that first period. And but they got to get more into the flow. I think there are too many penalties, but I think Vancouver is ripe to be had, no question.
Adam Christensen wants to know: was that a weird first goal by Vancouver?
Well, yeah, kind of, right? I mean, it was a kind of a broken play, and if you noticed when he shot the puck, it was kind of on end, and it didn't take your natural trajectory to the net. I mean, it's a heck of a shot, right? I mean,
yes,
he beat Stalock clean, and an inch further up, and it's over the net. But yeah, it was. I think it kind of shocked the Wild. It shocked everybody. But the good thing is Minnesota stuck with it, and Luke gets a goal to tie it at the end of the period.
Well, the one thing I thought was interesting about that goal, because we saw it later on in the period, was, Vancouver knows that Alex Stalock is really great at playing the puck on those dump ins. He's basically a third defenseman back there. So on that one, it was kind of wrapped around the boards, and it took like the weird, awkward bounce that Suter couldn't handle. And later on, they did like a cross ice dump that Stalock couldn't get to. Obviously, that's what you want to do against Stalock because of how great he is at playing the puck.
Right, and you mentioned the bounce, and you and I had talked the other day about how the ice is going to be, and how many games were played during the day. And I noticed in that first period, boy, the puck was jumpy. It was bouncing quite a bit in that first period. I don't know how the ice is. I just noticed. Things weren't clean, especially the passing, and in that first period.
Well, you got to give credit to Vancouver. I mean, obviously, in a 5-game series and you're down 1-0, game 2 had already kind of turns into desperation mode a little bit.
Yeah.
They brought the energy. It seemed like they had a little bit more speed going through the neutral zone than it did in game 1. Forecheck was a little bit more aggressive. I thought the Wild struggled a little bit on their breakout. But at the same time, Vancouver threw a punch and the Wild counterpunched.
Yeah, they did. And again, Vancouver got going, and I think it helped with those power plays. Anytime you get a power play, even if you don't score, you're gonna touch the puck more, especially their top 6 guys who played an awful lot that period. But I'm telling you, Brandon, I hope this game settles into a 5-on-5 game, because I really do think the Wild really didn't have a chance to get their forecheck going like they did in game 1 in the first 10 minutes. That period didn't allow for that to happen. And I think there was only maybe 2-3 shifts maybe where the Fiala line was out there together as a line. And so they haven't gotten into their rotation yet. And, hopefully things will settle down now, and they can play 5-on-5.
Well, you talk about wanting to play 5-on-5. I wonder if NHL referees, ever after a period is over, are able to look back at some of their past calls, or even if there's,
I hope so,
or even if there's a head of officials that talks to them, because 2 of those calls were absolutely brutal. That first one on Greenway, he was nudging Pettersson. That's not a call in the regular season or the preseason, let alone the playoffs. And then the Koivu one, he's getting slew-footed by Antoine Roussel.
Right.
Looks like it was just completely unintentional that it hit his hand.
Right.
So you wonder if refs are able to go back and look at calls and go, oh man, because they're human, they're emotional, and they might start going the other way here in the second period if they know how bad those calls were.
Here's what I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that their bosses are watching, and that's how they advance themselves into the next round. They get eliminated as teams get eliminated too. So yeah, they were. Yeah, I hate the fact, Brandon, that just because a team got two power plays in a row, that you feel that the next penalty has to be on the other team.
Yeah, and those two were legit.
Correct.
Yes.
And the two against the Wild, and this is not homerism. This is just what we see, right? The Greenway one. I mean, you want the game, you want to have some physicality. Okay, you don't want the fighting, but you want guys to play with a little, bravado. And that was just a little push. And then the Koivu one. I really, the penalty should have won. I thought it was going to be on Russell for pulling down Koivu. Wasn't the case, but nonetheless, we have a 1-1 game.
Derek Johnson wants to know, does Cunnin remind you of Parisi? Parisi was the one who set up Cunnin on that goal, and a nice quick release from him.
No, I don't really think so. I think they're different players. Zach is just, dogged on the puck, always. Always finding the puck. Luke is more of a, I don't want to, deceptive is not the word, but he's more stationary. He's more, he doesn't have that energy that Zach brings. Not to hey, every player is different. It's hard to compare because everyone has their own set of skills. And but that, hey, it was a heck of a shot. And you know what? We talked about one of the guys having to step up in this series has to be Luke Cunnin, and he found it.
And we also talked about Vancouver's defense, and I have no idea what Tyler Myers was doing on that. That was basically like a 2-on-3. Parisi was being defended by the one defenseman. You had the forward kind of back checking off the bench because they just had a line change. And Tyler Myers is back by Markstrom. I don't know how you give up that much gap on that play.
No, and he's poor defensively. He's a big kid. He's, I think, 6'6", and for a guy that size, he skates really, really well. But he is not very good defensively. And if I'm Minnesota and I want to start my forecheck, I'm throwing the puck in his corner because he's not going to come out with it. And I think they know that. I think they know that about the majority of the Vancouver defense. The key for Minnesota is their forecheck, no question. And that's why I hope that we, stay away from penalties in this period, and Minnesota can, wear them down a little bit.
You and I have talked about Joel Eriksson-Ek is not your ideal second line center, and he's more of a third line center. Right. He's a great third line center. Right. That being said, I think he's been pretty good in this series. Game one, that Horvat line got nothing. Now they did give up a goal that first shift tonight, but I don't think that was Eriksson-Ek's fault. But he drew a penalty tonight that led to a power play. I know they didn't capitalize. And when they had that three consecutive penalty kills, he was unbelievable, just intercepting passes and getting sticks on pucks and getting the puck out of the zone. I thought he was huge on the PK.
Well, and also something we talked about in the pregame show tonight about agitating. And if you saw him, he got in Bo Horvat's head a little bit. Just talking to him a little bit, giving him a little jab. They went at it. Horvat was getting mad, and Eriksson just smiles and skates back to the bench. But, so he has that ability to just bug you. And, and that he had a great period.
Anthony Gallitz, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, wants to know, is it me or are the Canucks just trying to hurt Fiala every time he's out there?
I didn't see enough of Kevin in that period to really, pay attention. Kevin didn't have the puck much in that period. And you really notice him when he has the puck. Didn't have it much, not much on the power play. So, of course, listen, they're going to, teams always go after your star player in some way. And they want to take them off their game. And, that's, if the Canucks do that, it's smart on their part.
What did you think of the two Wild power plays? They obviously, that was a key in game one. They scored 2 power play goals. Didn't get much for chances in that period. They were getting into the zone, I thought, quite easily. It was just the setup once they got in. in Vancouver's PK was a little bit more aggressive, it seems. But anything specific with the power play you think the Wild need to get better at?
Well, I think I think they're effective when they when they move it quick and they get shots. Listen, a key always why Minnesota's power play has been terrific. The quarterback has been Fiala, because Fiala gets the puck on the flank and then he's able to, he's so quick, he brings it to the center of the ice and then he either carries it all the way in or he has options. He drops it back or finds, and that breaks up the box. And they didn't do enough of that in that period.
And I just lost my my one I wanted to go to. Someone want to know. I can't find it right now. The comments are just they're flooding in, but they want to know know why you have an orange shirt instead of a maroon and gold shirt.
You know what? I went in the closet and this one came out. This one just grabbed at me tonight.
Let's just preview period 2 then. There was the message from Eric Vigo. Period number 2, I think the Wild just keep playing the way they are. I mean, the reason they were on the penalty kill was because the referees were not doing them any favors. I like the way they played through one period, and I'm not really sure they necessarily need to make any changes here.
Very impressed with the penalty kill. Penalty kill was awesome that period. Vancouver had a difficult getting set up in the zone, and I thought it was a terrific penalty kill by the Wild. Now get back to 5-on-5, get back to their forecheck, and I think they'll win the period if they stay out of the box and just start pounding away.
I should chat about the goalie before we get out of here. Stalock gave up a goal in the first shot. Yeah.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Markstrom or Stalock?
Stalock.
Mark. Yeah. That was a tough one. It was a quick goal, a quick reaction, and a great shot. Now, I don't think the goal Cunningham scored was a great goal. He beat him short side, and I think it was short, so maybe in between the legs. But regardless, Markstrom has got to stop that puck.
Yeah. Well, and I will say Stalock did have 2 big saves in that period. He had the one, I think Vancouver's on the power play. They made a quick pass from the goal line to the far side, and he got over there. Yeah. Yep. And then Brock Besser kind of had a semi breakaway there where Stalock got the poke check when Stalock got around Suter. So
really good play.
Stalock wasn't overly tested in that period, but after that first gaff, I thought he held up well.
Yeah, that goal didn't seem to bug him, and it didn't seem to bug the Wild either, because all of a sudden you can drop your head a little bit and you're down. But they fought back and didn't let it bother them. Good period.
Someone on the power trip is actually awake. They want to say congrats to Meat Sauce on winning the 2020 City Page's Best Sports Radio Show Host of the Year. I can't think of a more deserving person and personality than Meat Sauce.
I sent him a text and congratulated him also. Well deserved. Congratulations again, Paul.
Pat, you're the best. I'll talk to you after the second period is over, and we'll hopefully have a Minnesota Wild lead at that point.
Sounds great. Look forward to it. Thank you.
All right, he's Pat Micheletti. I'm Brandon Mileski. The Wild tied with the Vancouver Canucks 1-1 after one period here in Game 2, with them leading the series 1-0. Like I said, we'll be back at the second intermission, so thank you so much for joining.